What's going on, coaches? Want to take a couple minutes and talk to you about something that we've already communicated during our parent orientation and our coaches training, but I want to revisit this just so that we're all on the same page. It's something called the circle of affirmation. So here's the basic idea of this. There's always going to be a chain reaction of events after a referee makes a call. It can go one direction, which we call the circle of criticism, or it can go the other direction, which we call the circle of affirmation. Here's the idea. Referee makes a call, and then after that, you as a coach have a choice of how you're going to respond. And it creates a whole cycle of events. Referee makes a call that you disagree with. You have the choice to respond negatively and speak out and basically voice your disapproval of it. And when you do that, it starts a chain reaction where parents will also voice their disapproval, and it engages the players, and it causes players to essentially begin to disrespect the referee. The other alternative is the circle of affirmation, is that's when a referee makes a call, you respond in a positive way, whether you agree with the call or not. And what that does is it creates that same chain reaction, and it causes parents to follow your example and also kids to follow your example, and it keeps them engaged in the game and not focused about the injustice of a call. So let me talk about this dynamic for a little bit. These rules apply for the circle of affirmation, circle of criticism during gameplay. We want to make sure that you, as a coach, are only affirming the referee's calls while the game is happening, while the game clock is counting down. We want you to affirm those calls. Now, that does not mean that we have to live with bad calls and just ignore them. Something to consider is we as an upward basketball league are essentially a team working together. All of the coaches, all of the referees, all of the staff for upward, everyone that's coming together, we want to create a good playing experience for everybody. So when there's a bad call or there's things being missed, it's important for us to fix that. So let me talk to you about how we fix that. Like I mentioned before, the first thing is we cannot talk to referees during the game, but what I would say is you can always talk to referees between the periods, before the game, after the game, at halftime. Those are all great times to have a conversation with the referee. Now keep in mind, we want everybody to understand that we are working together on a team. It's not one coach versus the other coach or the coach versus the referee. We are all working together, and we want to create a good playing experience for everybody. So when we have good communication with each other that has the appropriate tone, everybody wins in this. So think about this. Between periods, there's a referee that's missing calls. There's somebody that's coming off of their guy, guarding the wrong wristband, chasing the ball on defense, and it's creating some stress for you as a coach. Go to the referee between periods and say, hey, sir, I just want to run this by you. I noticed that number 13 is really going off of their guy and chasing the ball, not guarding their wristbands. Would you be able to just keep an eye on that in the upcoming period? Referees will hear you out. I promise you. They will respect that. They will respect that tone. They will respect the insight. And as a referee, when a coach comes to me and says things like that, it engages me in something, and I can ref a better game. So keep that in mind. Don't neglect communication with the referees. We don't want you to yell things out, yell instructions during gameplay, but you can increase your communication with them between the periods. Some other examples that I would encourage you to do, this is an example from this past week that I used with the referee. I had a game. I'm coaching kindergarten and first grade boys, and we've been working on setting picks. So imagine 5, 6, and 7-year-olds setting picks for the very first time. I knew for my team it wasn't going to be very pretty. I went to the referee and I said, hey, I want to give you a heads up. We've been working on setting picks. We're doing okay, but I also recognize that we're not going to be perfect in this. And I explained to him, here's some things that my team is struggling with. My team's staying really still on their picks. They plant themselves and they do really good. So we're not struggling with that a lot, but keep an eye on that because they could move away from that. But something that some of my players are doing is when they set their picks, they stick their arms out like this and stop someone from going there. When you see that, just be aware of that and call it, because that's going to help my teams get better at setting picks. The referee was very appreciative of that, and it helped him as we went into the game experience. So keep that in mind. this is something that that really can help the referees engage well. The other thing is talk to the other coach. I know you guys are competing against each other and you're trying to win the game, but talk to each other, because ultimately you guys just want your team to get better. You want the kids to get better. So if something goes wrong, just talk to them and say, hey, here's what's going on. I wanted to make you aware of this. I wanted you to know that this was happening. A couple weeks ago, I had my app, my Upward app. It froze on me in the middle of the period, and I don't know that I was getting all the substitutions right in time. And I went to him and said, hey, man, I'm doing my best. This is what I'm doing for the substitutions. But my app froze on me, and at the last minute, I was trying to throw things together. So it might be a little bit off. I apologize for that. And he respected that. Just being really honest with him, letting him know if something's not right, this is why. And I was having open communication. That's one of the big things. As long as we're communicating openly with each other, things go really well. Appreciate you guys. See you guys all this Saturday, and looking forward to another great game experience.